Right now, University of Cape Town Vice-Chancellor Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng is on her way out of the internationally acclaimed institution, but it's not without controversy. While media reports say UCT reached a 12.5 million rand settlement with Phakeng, basically a golden handshake, some argue that lack of institutional transformation and patriarchy play a role in the unseating of black female leaders. Phakeng's second term of office was supposed to end only in 2028. Now, Yolokazi Mfuto from the development consulting firm RE4M Envoy joins us now live from Pretoria to discuss this further with us. Thank you very much for your time, Yolokazi, here on eNCA. So tell me why you believe that this whole situation has to do more with patriarchy than, what we're hearing from some people who've spoken to the media from the university.
Thank you for having us. We're from RE4M Envoy. Well, for us, it is not just an exit for Prof. Phakeng, but it is definitely a step back, two steps back from our progressive affirmative action as the country, but also an attack on black women excellence. We've seen UCT, even when Prof. Phakeng was joining the institution a while back, there was also a huge controversy around her qualifications, her credibility as the Vice-Chancellor. And we know very well that the ivory tower of whiteness and racism at UCT was not going to rest until they actually remove Phakeng from the position. But for us, it is not just about the removal of Phakeng, but it's the future about women going into positions of power and also empowerment of women as a whole. So this is a patriarchal, racist, and a classist approach to actually show black people in South Africa that UCT are still ivory towers of whiteness, and UCTs, they must always adhere to the status quo that is rooted in racism.
You make very interesting examples in your argument to you saying this. You make an example of the now gone CEO of Eskom, Theresa, saying that as a white man, he was allowed to stay in his position for 3 years, having not being able to keep the lights on, but he was kept there, and even after he resigned, he was even given the ability to serve his term until, of course, recently. You make that as an example. I just want to give you time to further elaborate on what you mean by that.
Well, thank you. So the main thing that we have seen that society, particularly I'll speak on South Africa, and I think the good continent as well, we are very harsh in judging women who have flaws in leadership. We are very harsh in ensuring that women leave positions of power immediately when one make one stain of a mistake. We've seen this with Andrew at Eskom. He has stayed whilst he was delivering nothing on the table, but because we like he is going to change the tide. But also right now we see there is a tribunal against Judge Makubele. We're taking a position at PRASA, but now he's also a judge, and this is a conflict of interest in terms of judiciary. However, now I'm like, is this an attack on women? We don't want to be sanitized from making problems, but also the society is so harsh in judging women, and also this is aggressive because for us to empower young women, they must see us do things. They must see us in positions of power, making mistake, learning and unlearning, because this is the essence of leadership and essence of moving forward as a country, where we empower each and everyone, not a particular gender. In this case, it is men who are constantly sanitized, they are constantly given second chances to prove themselves. But for people like Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng from UCT, we see UCT has unfounded or faceless allegations against her, and then they have a settlement even before the investigation is completed. Clearly, there is an attack against black women excellence in this country.
So I assume that, you'll be one of the first people to fight if you find out that UCT is appointing a male or even a white male VC after the professor leaves or vacates her position. So I would assume that in your opinion, UCT didn't take the opportunity to allow transformation at the institution?
Yes, definitely. UCT has never, I don't think they were willing to actually champion the struggle against transforming the institution. They still enjoy the structural racism that they actually have in the institution that is much more of a table for greatness for white people. Even with the Professor Phakeng, they did not necessarily anticipate the fact that she was going to make tremendous changes at the university, trying to install and restore a change and actually make education fashionable, relatable, and also for Black people to find space and belonging at UCT. So now they are found shaking because there is nothing that actually gives us evidence of the number of allegations that they're putting against her. And if there is allegations in terms of our legal systems, it is important that you see the investigations through. There is a verdict, there's a recommendation. If then there's a recommendation to suspend her or relieve her of position of position, then do that. But in this case, they are willing to actually part with more than 12 million just to ensure that she is leaving the institution. The next thing we are going to see, which we've been seeing for a long time, is the erasure of women in contributing to the betterment of this country. Women are constantly erased. If they are not erased, they are removed from their positions because whiteness is found shaking when women are making a change in institutions of higher learning, which are predominantly white, like UCT.
All right. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us. Yolokazi Mfuto from the development consulting firm RE4M Envoy.